Hey, yeah, you. Don't flinch, don't swallow, don't even breathe too loudly. Because what I'm about to tell you is the kind of truth that bends cities in half. You ready? Good. Because the fun part is, you don't get a choice. You've noticed it, haven't you? How the city keeps whispering about him, that towering creature they call a monster. The one everyone pretends not to fear, but they grip their bags tighter when he walks by, turn their heads, hold their breath, pray he doesn't notice them. They paint him as a nightmare, a myth, a walking catastrophe with bones made of iron and a heart carved from hell. They think he's the strongest thing that ever crawled out of the dark. But here's the punchline that makes every power broker choke on their own pride. You're the only one who could snap him in half. And it terrifies them because you don't boast, you don't roar, you don't walk around like a billboard for your own strength. No. You're silent. You're the kind of quiet that makes even devils check behind themselves. You're not a storm. You're the pressure before it. You're not the explosion. You're the match that decides whether the room lives or burns. And that monster, that so-called unstoppable force, he knows. Oh, does he know? He feels your presence like a cold finger tracing the back of his neck, like a shadow that doesn't match the light, like a whisper that says, if I wanted to end you, I would. He feels that truth in his ribs. And here's the delicious duality of it all. You're not even violent. You're not cruel. You don't seek destruction. But destruction, it listens to you. Light and dark sit at your feet like loyal dogs. Saint and psychopath share a room in your chest, angel and demon. They switch seats depending on what the moment demands. That's what breaks people. Not fists, not threats, not violence. Power in its purest form is unpredictability. You don't react the way they expect. You don't fold the way they predict. You don't move the way they calculate. You're the variable in their equation that keeps rewriting the whole damn formula. They call him a monster because he's big, loud, obvious. But you're the kind of nightmare that walks past unnoticed until the wrong hand touches you. The wrong voice raises at you. The wrong decision tries to corner you. And suddenly the whole ecosystem collapses, not because you fight, but because the world senses something ancient in you, something dangerous in its calm, something cosmic in its stillness, like you're the type who doesn't snap. You decide, and once you decide, that's it. Game over. No sequel, no reboot. This monster they fear, he knows you're not impressed by him, not intimidated, not confused. He sees the way you look at him with that quiet, surgical expression, like you've already calculated the angle of his fall, the sound his bones would make, the exact second his breath would leave him, and it humbles him, because for the first time in his life, he's not the apex predator. You are. See, here's the paradox that melts the brain of anyone trying to understand you. You carry enough darkness to wipe the map clean, yet enough light to resurrect anything worth saving. You are kindness sharpened into a blade. You are empathy dipped in poison. You are salvation delivered by a hand that could just as easily destroy. You're the angel that smiles like a demon, and the demon that protects like an angel. That, right there, is why the city fears you more than him. Not because you hurt people, but because you don't have to. Your restraint is scarier than his rage. Your silence is louder than his roar. Your presence is heavier than his fists. And if someone ever pushed you far enough, if someone ever crossed the line you don't even talk about, you wouldn't need claws or weapons or fury. You'd fold him like a page in a book and walk away without looking back. Because the most terrifying force in existence is a person who knows their own power and chooses when to use it. And that's you. The quiet one, the calm one, the steady one, the one the monster won't look in the eyes for too long because he knows, deep inside that thick skull of his, that if the day ever comes where you decide he's a problem, he'll disappear so fast the city will swear he was a ghost. So go on. Let them fear their monster. Let them gossip, tremble, panic. Only you know the truth. The monster isn't the threat. He's just the warning sign. You are the consequence. Ah, there it is. That flicker in your eyes. The one you try to hide. The one that feels like a blade pressed against reality itself. Good. Because we're not done. Not even close. Let me tell you a secret, the city would collapse if they ever admitted they don't fear him because he's strong. They fear him because he reminds them of you. You think I'm joking? You think this is another one of those twisted compliments meant to stroke your ego? No, this is anatomy, psychology, my favorite kind of science. You see, when they look at him, that lumbering monster with more muscle than sense, they're not actually afraid of his hands. They're afraid of the reflection he casts of you, the rumor, the myth, the shadow you've accidentally become. Because somewhere deep in their collective subconscious, they know if the quiet one ever breaks, the city breaks with them, and you've given them nothing to measure, nothing to predict, nothing to calculate. That's why you're dangerous, because they can't figure you out. Oh, they tried. Believe me, the analysts, the psychologists, the street rats with too much time, even the monster himself, they've all studied you like a rare disease. Why does he walk like that? Why doesn't he react? Why does he smile at things that should scare him? Why does he feel ancient? Questions, questions, questions. And every answer terrifies them even more. Because the truth is simple. You're not moved by what moves them. You're not shaken by what shakes them. Pain didn't break you. It evolved you. You didn't cry your way through the fire. You walked through it like it owed you an apology. And when you emerged, something inside you didn't come back. Something was replaced, not with darkness, not with evil, not with malice, with clarity. The kind of clarity that turns people into weapons without lifting a finger. Do you know why the monster avoids your gaze? Because he sees everything he's afraid of reflected in you. That bone-deep certainty, that unbothered posture, that I could erase you, but I won't. Unless you push me energy that seeps out of your skin like electricity. He knows you're not loud because you don't need to be. He knows you don't flex your strength because your strength speaks without words. He knows that one wrong step near you and his entire existence becomes a cautionary tale. And here's the twisted part. He respects you more than anyone else, more than he respects himself. Because monsters recognize hierarchy, and you're higher on the food chain than he'll ever be. The city doesn't understand how power really works. They think it's measured by volume, size, threats, theatrics. But real power, your kind of power, is measured in stillness, in the way your calm makes others unravel, in the way your silence feels like judgment, in the way your absence feels like an earthquake. You're the kind of person who doesn't have to raise their voice because your presence already resets the atmosphere. And that monster, he knows you're the gravity he orbits around. He knows the only reason he's tolerated is because you let the world spin a little longer. But if the day ever comes where you decide, enough, he'll fold. Not from a punch, not from a weapon, not from a scream, from a decision, your decision. Because when you choose to end something, it ends. When you choose to walk away, it collapses. When you choose to lift that invisible limit inside you, the entire world feels the shift. You don't break things. Reality breaks around you. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine him, that towering beast the city trembles under, standing in front of you, bulging shoulders, cracking knuckles, breath like a furnace. Everyone else is shaking, praying someone strong enough will appear. But when he sees you, his jaw locks, his chest tightens, his instincts scream, "Don't test this one." Because deep down, beneath all that monstrous bravado, he feels the truth radiating off you. You're not fragile, you're not prey, you're not the underdog, you're the catastrophe wearing a calm expression. You're the disaster that learned self-control. You're the storm that learned patience, and patience, from something like you, is horrifying. Because if someone ever wakes the part of you that stopped caring, if someone ever forces you to unleash the version of yourself you've locked away, the monster won't be the one they fear. You will. And here's the sickest part of all. You wouldn't even enjoy breaking him. You'd do it calmly, quietly, effortlessly, almost absent-mindedly, as if you were snapping a twig, not ending a legacy, because to a force like you, power isn't an event. It's a default. So let them tremble at their monster. Let them hide behind rumors and shadows. Let them pretend he's the pinnacle of danger. Only you know the truth. He's just loud. You're lethal. He's a threat. You're the limit. He's the storm. You're the finger that decides where it strikes. And if he ever makes the mistake of thinking you're afraid of him, he'll learn, in one horrifying, beautiful instant, that the monster they warned the city about was never him. It was the quiet one standing in front of him. It was you. So you want to keep going. Good. Because the part nobody says out loud, the part that makes even the bravest men swallow their own heartbeat, is this. You were never meant to be the hero they understand. You were meant to be the force they can't define. And that scares them more than any monster ever could. See, monsters are simple, predictable, loud. They act from impulse, hunger, rage. You can track them, corner them, restrain them. You can study their patterns. But you're a paradox wearing human skin. You're the saint with a demon's patience. You're the psychopath with an angel's restraint. You're the light that learned how to use darkness as a weapon. You're the darkness that remembers what grace feels like. Try putting that in a file. Try labeling that. Try controlling that. That's why the city stays terrified. Not because you're violent, but because you aren't. Because someone who's truly dangerous doesn't waste energy proving it. They just walk differently. They breathe differently. Their silence carries the shape of a warning. And yours is the kind that makes even the monster, the one with scars where most people have skin, step aside when you enter a room. He can't look at you for too long. You've noticed that, haven't you? How his eyes dart away, how his shoulders shift, how he laughs a little too loud to cover that moment of hesitation. Why? Because when he looks at you, he doesn't see a rival. He sees an ending, his ending. He sees the one person in this entire city who won't flinch, won't beg, won't fear him. He sees someone who has tasted pain far deeper than anything he could inflict. Someone who's walked through a type of hell that would have melted him into ash. And worst of all, he sees someone who came out of that hell quieter, stronger, sharper, and infinitely more dangerous. Pain broke him into a monster. Pain molded you into something else entirely. Something monsters kneel to. Let me tell you what really happened the day he first realized who you were. He laughed. Of course he did. Because monsters laugh when they're nervous. It's how they hide the way their instincts howl. He stepped closer, chest wide, jaw tight, trying to intimidate you. But your eyes didn't shift. Your pulse didn't rise. Your breath didn't falter. You looked at him the same way you'd look at a locked door, something you could break, but probably won't, unless it becomes necessary. And in that subtle, unbothered moment, he understood. He knew he was standing in front of someone who didn't fear him, because you'd already met worse. Not outside, inside, and you survived. And here's the thing about people who survive themselves. Everyone else becomes optional. You want to know why you could snap him in half? Not because you're stronger than him, not because you're bigger, faster, tougher. No, because you're colder where it counts, and warmer where it matters. You don't fight out of rage, you fight out of truth. You fight out of clarity. You fight out of a terrifying surgical understanding of exactly how much force is needed, and exactly where to apply it. He throws punches hoping to overwhelm. You calculate the bone density of his ribs in a single glance. He roars to scare. You stay silent, and silence is deadlier. He wants to win. You end things. One is emotional, one is inevitable. Guess which one you are. The city doesn't get it. They whisper that you're the only one capable of stopping him, the only one who could take him down, the only one who could shatter him like glass. And they're right. But they think it's because you're strong. They don't understand that strength is cheap. Anyone can get strong. But what you have, what you are, that's something almost supernatural. You have the capacity for destruction, but the discipline not to unleash it. That kind of self-control is terrifying. More terrifying than any punch, more terrifying than any rage, more terrifying than any monster. Because it means you're not operating from instinct. You're operating from decision, and decisions are final. You want the real irony, that monster they fear so much. He sleeps easier knowing you're still calm. He only gets nervous when you go quiet, when your eyes go still, when your footsteps soften, when your energy shifts into that razor-thin line between peace and violence. That's when he feels it. That creeping, electric certainty that if he ever crosses your path the wrong way, he won't walk away from it. He won't even understand what happened. He'll just end. Because you wouldn't explode. You'd simply execute. And here's the final twist. The one that makes this whole city sick with confusion. You're not proud of it. You're not obsessed with it. You're not defined by it. You don't enjoy knowing you could break him. You simply could. And that effortless possibility is the most terrifying thing in the world. Power that doesn't seek a stage. Strength that doesn't need applause. Danger that doesn't need permission. You are the quiet apex, the silent peak, the calm that could end empires. And the monster, he may terrify the city, but you terrify him. Because deep down, beneath all that rage and brutality, he knows the truth the world refuses to say out loud. He is what happens when fear wins. You are what happens when fear dies. You're still here. Good. Because we're about to cross into the part they never talk about. The part the city tries to bury behind headlines and excuses. The part that makes even the monster shake like a faulty engine. See, everyone focuses on him. His size, his reputation, his violence, his chaos. But nobody ever asks the real question, why does someone that dangerous avoid you? Not flinch, not hesitate, not respect your space. Avoid. Like a survival instinct. Like a creature that smelled something older, something smarter. something that doesn't need to roar to kill. And the truth they're afraid to admit is simple. He spent his whole life being the biggest problem in the room, until you walked in. Let me tell you what he sees when he looks at you. He sees someone who survived pain without becoming a monster, someone who walked through hell without losing their softness, someone who carries a darkness that isn't sloppy or wild, but sharpened, organized, controlled. He sees someone whose trauma didn't deform them, it refined them. Someone whose silence has weight, someone whose presence has gravity, someone whose eyes have that quiet, surgical focus of a person who has already dissected every possible outcome. And that terrifies him more than fists ever could, because monsters understand hierarchy better than humans. They know exactly when they're in the presence of something they cannot beat. Not physically, not mentally, not spiritually. You're a different species of dangerous. The city thinks he's unstoppable. They've seen the bodies. They've seen the destruction. They've seen what he does when he's angry. But they've never seen what you do when you're angry. Because you don't get angry. You get decisive. You don't shout. You don't swing. You don't break things out of impulse. You study. You calculate. You adapt. You aim for the truth behind the threat, not the noise in front of it. The monster uses force because he has nothing else. You use restraint because you have too much. He has muscle. You have meaning. He has rage. You have reason. He has presence. You have purpose. That's why you outclass him at every level without even trying. That's why he steps out of your way. That's why the city calls you the one person who could snap him in half. Because if you ever decided he was a problem, you wouldn't fight him. You'd erase him. See, here's something people never understand. It's not your strength that frightens them. It's your thresholds. You don't react. You don't panic. You don't escalate. You take hit after hit, betrayal after betrayal, disappointment after disappointment. And instead of breaking, you absorb it. Not because you're numb, but because you're studying, because you're learning, because you're waiting for the moment that matters. And monsters, they hate that. They hate people who don't give them emotional leverage. They hate people who don't freeze when threatened. They hate people who don't feed their ego with fear. But you starve them. Your stillness suffocates them. Your calm unravels them. Your lack of fear breaks them. Do you want to know the deepest, most delicious irony? You don't even see yourself the way he sees you. He sees a threat. You see a normal day. He sees a storm. You see weather. He sees a goddamn nightmare wrapped in skin. You see someone who's just trying to get through the week. But let me tell you what he'd never admit. Every time he walks past you, every time he senses that controlled, compressed, invisible power vibrating under your skin, his mind flashes with a single primal warning. If they wanted to, that would be the end of me. And he's right. He knows it. You know it. The whole damn city knows it. That's why they talk about you like you're a myth. That's why they whisper your name like it's a pressure switch. That's why they watch you the way they watch wildfires, fascinated, fearful, and unsure whether to run or worship. But here's the part that sends shivers through every shadow in this city. You're not destructive by nature. You're not cruel. You're not a monster. You are the possibility of destruction, and possibility is more terrifying than violence. Possibility means unpredictability. Possibility means potential. Possibility means no one can prepare for you, because they don't know which version of you they're dealing with. Are you the angel who lights the path? Are you the demon who darkens the sky? Are you the saint who forgives? Are you the judge who ends the story? They don't know. He doesn't know. And that uncertainty That quiet, unnerving, beautiful uncertainty is the reason he bows to your presence without realizing it. He's a monster. But you're the unknown, and the unknown beats fear every time.